This is the weekly sales meeting for November 19th, 2023. My name is Chris Fleming. You can reach me at chris@cdmediaconsulting.com or go to our website at cdmediaconsulting.com. Today's topic is, what is your process? In general terms, a process is defined as a series of actions undertaken to achieve a particular goal. It is the steps taken to get to a given outcome. Process, in most businesses, governs and manages operations. It for sure covers the sales department. The process in some companies is simple, while others make it very complex. It often has to do with the layers of reporting and the number of hands touching reports. But I will say this, if a new hire can't understand what the basics of the job are, it is too complicated. If a new hire can't understand how they get paid on day one, you don't have a process. You have a problem. You have mass confusion followed by stagnation and declining revenues. To speed up your revenue intake, be clear and define your sales process. Make it so easy a fourth grader can understand it. They know what it is, they know the expectations of performance, and they know the intended outcome. Otherwise, you are setting yourself up for failure. If it is not simple, easy, and replicable, it is not a process. This is a definition of process. It starts by being easy to understand up and down the organization. It should be straightforward to implement. The elements of it work whether you have electricity or not. It can be duplicated or replicated with relative ease. The concept of simplicity and ease of replication is valued. This simplicity allows us a certain amount of predictability. Whether it be in broadcasting, manufacturing, or technology, streamlining allows for efficiency. We place a high degree of importance on creating systems that are easy to follow, and ones which are reproduced to achieve reliable, predictable results. That is, until we don't. When we get to a certain level of success, we tend to overcomplicate the simple. I have yet to pinpoint at what level it is we start to do that, but it happens. And it happens in all businesses when they start to see success. And it gets worse when they start to taste failure. Let's add more layers of complexity to revenue measurement. We add new ways to slice the pie to measure performance. We become like statisticians in baseball, inventing new metrics to evaluate player performance, as if we were the manager of the rotisserie leagues of old, the ones which were the precursor to fantasy sports leagues. We plain forget about simplicity and ease of replication. We go 180 degrees the other way. We are being so clever and innovative in our process because we latched on to new KPIs to govern performance. Meanwhile, our business suffers because we are chasing metrics. We stop chasing actual performance. In our sales process, there are three things that matter. That is it. Who did you call on? What did you ask them to buy? And what did you close? Those three metrics drive the bus. Everything else is window dressing. Look at your company process. If it includes any more than that, you may be looking at the wrong things. It is quite possible that it is impacting how you finish each month. Our sales performance process should be easy to understand. It needs to be straightforward to implement, and it can be duplicated or replicated with relative ease. This method will reduce stress and reduce costs. It improves efficiency. It creates a clear path to the future. It is draped in consistency, and no one is ever confused about the expectations. In broadcasting, the sales process is not a one-time event. We are not looking for the quick hit, but rather the long-term commitment. We are looking to keep customers for their lifetime, not only the one time. At least we should be. The life cycle of the product is continuous. Those that have the most success using it are the ones using it all year round. Those that start and stop and start and stop see inconsistent results. They will blame the medium, the advertising, for failure of the process. They don't trust the process, and part of that is our fault. We start counting things that don't matter. We start to drift away from the process of success. The late Andy Warhol said it this way: the process is the product. He may have been a bit too abstract in his application, but the process of selling from the broadcast standpoint does not have to be complicated. We can break it down into those three simple actions. Who did you call on? What did you ask for? And what did you close? If we are counting something other than that, we may want to re-examine our process for success. When I conduct one-on-one meetings, our focus is only on these three things. It starts with one thing: performance. We analyze if we are on track. Are we at our goal? Simple. If yes, it is a short meeting. We look at current and future months to see if we are tracking on course. If yes, the meeting is over. If not, the meeting is a little longer. We will dig under the surface. We must answer extra questions. We can investigate the deal pipeline and face-to-face activity. We can look at time management and distraction overload. But all of that is centered around the basic sales process. It does not need to be more complicated. When we have a sales measurement process that requires a slide rule and a scientific calculator, we are overthinking things. And we are doing it in an unproductive way. Instead of thinking about how complicated you can make it, try inversion. Think about how simple it can be. I try to break everything down into base 10 math. It is based on what I can count on my fingers and toes. Anything more than that is too complicated of a process. If it requires long division, it's too complicated. Sellers, the good ones, won't follow it. Make it so simple a fourth grader can follow it. It eliminates barriers to success. It makes it adaptable to 99% of the population. It is the discipline of thought and action. According to sales trainer Brian Tracy, success in sales is the result of a disciplined, proven process. One which is embraced by the organization not because you said so, but because it is easy to understand. Sales metrics are easy. It is based on those 3 questions. Who did you call on? What did you ask for? What did you close? I make it easier than that by using base 10 metrics. I base everything on the power of 10. I want every seller to be able to have 10 face-to-face ask for money calls every week. This is defined for us as a presentation. It is one where a specific dollar amount is asked for. It is one where all the financial players are present, so a decision can be reached. If a presentation is given without the right people present, it doesn't count. It is that simple. I would call that a professional visit, and I don't pay for visits. I pay for sales. From those 10, I want all of that to total a minimum of $100,000 weekly. Asking at that level gives us a competitive advantage. It shows how we think. It shows we are serious people and should be treated as such. It shows we are thinking about the long-term health of their business. It is not focused on us, but focused on them. When we look at it from our side, that level is not out of bounds. When we are asking for everything long-term, as we should, getting to that level is easy. If your average monthly order is $1,000, and you are asking for a 1-year agreement, 10 of those will put you at $120,000. Why 100,000? Simple. The average closing ratio of all sellers in all businesses is 10%. We can assume average performance when we ask for $100,000. Based on that, we should have a reasonable and predictable expectation we are going to close 10%. Follow that logic. Each seller should gross $480,000 annualized. How many sellers will you need at optimal performance to reach your financial goals? Now, manage to that number. Build prospecting criteria to reach out to the best customers. Build pipeline activity to on-ramp the good and off-ramp the less than desirable. Be both diligent about it and militant about who gets on the list. It is not one size fits all, but it is getting the best businesses, the ones that are winning in their business categories or are set up to win. More on that later. But you say, Chris, my team is above average. We will close way more than that. Okay, great. I assess 0 penalties for overperformance. I want you to be better. Many of my top performers close at a 30% or better clip, all because they have a process for prospecting based on the ideal customer profile. In my selling days, I may have been better than that because I sought out those that thought long term. I didn't waste time with small monthly thinkers. I didn't waste time with feeble investors or rate chiselers. I bypassed those that lacked the vision to see what I saw, which was long term. But the world was a bit different then. I also walked uphill to school both ways. I will make this case. Sales compensation should mirror the activities that lead to sales performance. Compensating for something other than our 3 basic actions might be mucking up the process. If you know me, have worked for me, listened to me speak, or read one of my books, you will know that I'm a firm believer in this. Build simple commission plans. Do it for the same processed reasons of understanding. A salesperson should know what they make as a baseline with every transaction. It is how we keep score. When I walk out with an order, I shouldn't need a slide rule to figure it out. I should be able to use basic retail math. That process may be best discussed at length at another time. Jim McKiernan, I may call on you about this topic. In manufacturing, simplicity and ease of replication are often achieved through standardization. Sometimes it is done through modularization. By standardizing components and processes, manufacturers can reduce costs. They can improve quality by ensuring all the products are built to the same specifications, regardless of location. Modularization allows for the creation of interchangeable parts, ones that can be replicated with relative ease, and that can be assembled into different products. Ask IKEA how that works, except you have to do the assembly. In technology, look at the open source software and hardware. Open source products allow for easy replication and modifications. Developers can build on existing technologies and create new products. It is both quick and efficient. Why do we continue to make the process complicated? It is because the process was not invented by a seller. According to the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. One might make the same argument about all processes. They start with the first step. The easier you make getting started, the easier the process is to master. As you become more sophisticated in your operation, resist the urge to make the process more complicated. We start to think, we have all these data points, we should use them. Not if they prevent you from doing business. You don't want to manage a rotisserie league. The only rotisserie you want is on display at Costco in the form of chicken. It is the old KISS approach. Keep it simple, stupid. You may understand what you are doing with all your metrics, but if your sellers don't, or it takes away from their main purpose, you may want to rethink that. We call it a process because it is simple, easy, and replicable. When we add more complexity to it, it becomes a task or a chore. People don't like doing those. Ask your kids. Or think about it when you were one. How well did you like doing chores? Don't make it a chore, make it a tool. A tool with one purpose, which is to help close more business. That is why I use tens. They are easy. People can count them on their fingers and toes. You can explain it to everyone as if they were a fourth grader. It covers 99% of your team, and it never leaves them confused about the expectations of activity or performance. But it reminds them of how close they are related and intertwined. My new book, 52 Weekly Sales Meetings, is now available on Amazon.com. If you like what you have heard here today, please consider ordering a copy or two. You can always send one to a friend. Go to cdmediaconsulting.com right now and follow the instructions to order.